Hi there, and welcome back to Part 4 of Honor and Respect for Our American Flag. I'm Al Sipek, your host, and with me today I have Steve. Hi, Steve. He's the Assistant Scoutmaster for Troop 21 in Hudson. And next to him is retired Army Sergeant First Class Bill Grazer. Served in Berlin, Vietnam, and Korea. It's nice to have you gentlemen with us today.
Thank you.
A couple of points that were brought up in the other section that weren't addressed, and I think I'm going to ask Bill the first question. Bill, can you talk about how the flag should be properly illuminated?
Sure, absolutely. Many times you'll notice that when you, in the evenings, like in a housing development, apartment development, you'll see the American flag either next to a door or perhaps off a porch. And normally, if they're mounted correctly, they're at a 45-degree angle, which is fine. But what gets missed here is the importance of illumination. When any of us place an American flag on our homes, and we intend to leave it up 24/7, then you should be taking the time to have that flag illuminated with a light dedicated just to that flag.
Okay, one other point was brought up about the spear on the top of the staff that the American flag has, and I understand that that spear was originally there to spear an enemy.
It was, absolutely.
Because you had a standard bearer, a color bearer.
That's correct.
Which was a position of honor in the front line. And as we've seen on many movies correctly, when that color bearer was disabled in one way or another, the next soldier had the duty to pick that up and carry that flag forward. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct, absolutely correct. And the spear, you see sometimes you have flags with an eagle on them.
Mm-hmm.
And occasionally, obviously, you see the spear. Military organizations will always have the spear, and for the reason you just stated. You'll see the eagle sometimes on the national colors, which is an exception. And I believe if you look at the Scout flag over here to my left, you'll notice that they have an eagle on the United States flag, and that's because it has the gold trim, it becomes a national flag.
Great. And of course, the bald eagle is our
national emblem.
Our national emblem as well. Great. Can you explain why the Scouts are here today?
Yes, I'd be happy to do that. As part of this segment, we're going to be doing a little bit later on here in regards to the proper folding of the American flag following, in our case, the demonstration that we're going to use is a fallen soldier, removing the flag from the coffin and doing the proper folds and then explaining them. And the Scouts, and I thank them all, the young men as well as Steve, for stepping up and giving us the chance, giving us an opportunity to have them here and to show the proper respect for the flag and how it should be folded and presented.
All right, Steve, would you mind introducing your crew?
Sure. First we have Alexander. He's a Life Scout. We have Colby, who's a First Class Scout. We have Greg, who's a Star Scout, and Stephen, who's a First Class Scout.
Great, and that's going to be Bill's team.
That's my team.
That's your team, Bill.
That's my team. You know, and I told them the other night when I met with them down in Hudson for like a rehearsal to kind of go over the do's and don'ts as far as removing the flag, how it should be held and how it should be folded. It was a pleasure to meet young men that have that type of dedication to our country early on in their years, and I applaud them for that, and I thank you.
Could you give us a little bit about your experience? You are a retired Army veteran, and what did the flag mean to you during your service?
Well, you know, you always hear the words a lot of times that say duty, honor, country. For many, those are just words. But for a service member, they're more than just words. You know, duty to your country, duty to your family. When you do honor, you're doing honor not only to yourself and the men that you're responsible for, no matter what work environment you're in, but you're also doing honor to the country. You know, and duty, honor, and country. Country, what is country? And I think if you go back to some previous segments, and you're talking about the flags and how they develop and how they're handled, it's our country. And the United States flag is respected throughout the world, more so today perhaps than years past, for what we represent and what we're able to do to support and help those who need us. And as a veteran, I enlisted in the Army back in 1965. I was a volunteer. And I think all through high school, probably even earlier than that, I knew that's what I was going to be. And when I entered into the military service, I did that with so much pride, and I carry that today. I've had opportunities to have had duty stations all around the world. And like you mentioned earlier, for example, in West Berlin, as well as Korea in the mid-60s, and in Vietnam and Thailand. And I spent time in our headquarters down in Arlington, Virginia, with the Army Security Agency. And throughout that time, and to this day, for me personally, duty on a country means it all.
Great. Thank you for that insight, Bill. I'm sure we appreciated that. All right, we'll be right back with the Scouts and Bill as a team with the flag.